All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for March Comes In Like a Lion, Season 1, Episode 8. All right. So we have Harunobu and Rei Kiriyama teaching the girls shogi.
And by that we mean Rei sitting back and watching as Harunobu teaches Hinata and Momo shogi.
Yes, and it's very adorable.
Of nya.
Yes, it is very adorable, very cute.
Yes.
And Hinata is genuinely trying to learn it. Mm-hmm. Like, she is taking notes, she's trying, she's not, following with everything because there's a lot of info.
Uh-huh.
But the teaching method that's being used is very much for her level, and that's very sweet. Yep. Ball Boy is also here, and he inadvertently kind of helped reveal that Rei has a professional shogi career that he had actually been hiding from Akari and Hinata and Momo and their whole family and everything. Although it did seem like the grandfather had known before that, so it was something that maybe Akari knew.
Right, and just Hinata and Momo didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe it was a secret that Rei specifically was like, hey, can you not bring this up? It's kind of awkward. And it's funny because I can kind of relate to that in that Jacob and I don't want to instantly tell people that we meet hey, we have a YouTube channel and stuff.
We talk about anime and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how we make a living. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the shogi angle being explored some more with the wholesomeness bit, and kind of that being at least the primary focus. So without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Such a beautiful opening.
What would you think would be the easiest way to listen to this opening just as, offline,
I don't know, because it probably
putting
isn't
it into
on
a
Spotify
playlist or a bunch
anything.
of other stuff.
It could be.
Yeah. And I'm meaning legally, of course,
Right. I would basically say it would either be just YouTube or Spotify, if Spotify has it. Spotify would, but...
Gotcha. Because what I would like to do is take a bunch of the OPs and EPs of the thing, or OPs and EDs of the anime we've been reacting to recently, and kind of have a collection of them to listen to.
Oh yeah, totally.
When either editing or doing writing or something.
Oh yeah.
Because a couple of these I think are really conducive for that, and this is one of the ones that I would say is right along with there, like After the Rain's ED.
Yeah. I was gonna say After the Rain's ending and
the ED for this one not as much.
Yeah.
Teach me how to play shogi. Ah, yes. Welcome to Shogi Land. Yes. All right. Ah, the rook. Oh, I can't turn back, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Cool. Nice, like an actual knight. Gotcha. Huh! Whoa!
Yep.
Dang! Huh! Oh, here's a rook. Okay. Whoa! Ha ha! The diagonal movement. Nice. Okay. There's a lot of crossover with chess.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Dang.
Yeah.
Where's it published from? Oh. Is this his book? Yes, it is!
Uh-huh.
It is!
Yep.
Wow! Awesome! That's
awesome,
amazing! Huh? Is it magic?
Yeah.
It is magic! Oh, tell the butler, he's just like, oh, it's so adorable!
Yeah.
Gotcha. Aww, that's amazing. All right. And Momo is just, oh, super fancy.
Yeah.
All the details. He tested out with some focus groups. See? Mm-hmm.
There's a lesson in there somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Hey? Oh my gosh. So they're gonna decorate the interior of his apartment. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh! This is amazing!
Yeah.
Oh. Na 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 shogi. Wait, so is this the transition or the end of the episode?
I can't quite remember.
Because there's no way, like, we've gotten 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess there's a lot more just getting to this early. This is what Nikkaido or Harunobu dreams of every night.
Yep. This is sponsored by Harunobu.
Right. It's the commercial.
Exactly.
The rook's busy, like, impressing people while the king's getting captured by the other pieces, you know. Shogi. Wow. That's satisfying.
Yep.
Hey, these two. Yep. Indeed. The old heartstrings, of course. With the music. Everybody loves Nikkaido, yes. There you go, yeah. Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe his limited amount of time. Yeah. No. Momo, the kitten terrorizer. Aww. Good point. Is she talking to herself or to us or to Ray?
I think she's talking to Ray, but he's remembering it. Right. He's not there anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so she was talking to him, yeah. I don't like it. What's this? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, distant thunder. Whoa. Wow. I've never seen
Me neither.
Seen lightning during the day. That's, I guess, not during a bright day.
Yeah.
You know. Not without huge dark clouds, you know. Yeah. And where is here? Is this his place?
Mm-hmm.
Crap. No, you're not really welcome here. This is awkward.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'd call the cops. Wow. Wow, she's perceptive at least.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. You shut up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was about to say, roll credits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't like wishing death upon people, but
yeah,
but
yeah,
there are exceptions here.
Yeah,
and
like
there.
that. Just seeing her on screen gives me like I start to tense up and get all stressed out. Yeah.
Like here's the thing that's weird is that there's a form of realism that gets so underneath your skin that it actively like gives you, like you said, bodily stress. But for me, I don't seek out stress. I don't seek it out. Like, here's an example. Water flows down the path of least resistance in the same way that people do in a lot of times.
Sure.
But this girl is meant to be that storm, right?
Right.
So you naturally want to avoid the storm because it forces your ship along the water to capsize and to at the very least be tossed about.
Right.
For me though, the type of person that does that type of passive aggressive BS,
you want to kill the storm.
Oh, I actually charge into the storm with like 5 other ships behind me, and I'm like, all right.
Avast, ye scurvy dogs!
We're going to attack Poseidon.
Yeah, fire on the broadside, laddies!
Exactly.
All right, everyone, before we go into the discussion, just got to remind you that Battle Lines is available for pre-order. Yeah, link in the description for the Kickstarter. Now, the Siggy option, that is for limited time only. It ends at 6 a.m. February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Yes, that is a reference. So, go check that out and get all up in that. And now, on to the discussion.
Awesome.
Kyouko.
Now,
yeah.
Seriously. Okay, here's the thing. There's this weird thing they do with her character. Whenever she's brought in, they have little moments where she'll have her head turn to the side and the hair will flow. And you know what I think they're doing here? This is something that I think makes this even more complicated. Is this weird to say, but I think Ray is somewhat attracted to her.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like that's intentional, right?
Yep. And if and
she's using that.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's what makes it even worse.
And depending on how the abuse got when he was living with the family, it's like, okay, yeah, this is yeah. So,
yeah, I okay, here's the thing. No, I'm not even gonna preface it. Like she can go die in a ditch for all I care. I'm trying to suppress it and or understand it or recontextualize it, but I have actual hatred for this character.
Oh
now.
yeah,
it's gone beyond because I want to kind of like. I'm sorry, Jacob. I wanted to kind of hold the floor here for a second here because I have to get this out of my system.
Yeah.
Because I know that you've watched this already, so you've probably processed her and come to your own conclusions and stuff. But the thing here is that I hate bullies. Like I hate bullies. Like
You said that with like the Mr. Smith
yes,
Agent Smith.
I hate it.
Stink.
Yes. It actively sickens me. Now here's where I have a little bit of issue with, not with the story but how they're presenting her here, is that she's coming in very intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Very much lying with very specific things. When certain questions are asked of her, she kind of tries to regain control of what the thing is here. So
this is definitely malicious and intentional.
Yes, and the fact that she came all the way here for this at this time of night and all of this.
Yep.
This is a classic form of of establishing dominance.
Yes.
And one of the things that's really something that I would rather people did is if you have someone that's a dominator, someone that comes in and throws their weight around essentially to establish dominance, I would rather they do so in a blunt way. One, because it's more obvious of what they're doing.
Right, and then you can
you can address it directly.
Exactly. Yep.
The problem with people that are this good at doing this, specifically to someone who is used to getting walked over.
By this person specifically, too.
By this person specifically, yes.
General,
but unfortunately, Ray has been walked over by most everyone.
Yep.
Everyone. Even the nice people in his life. So when he's put into this position here, this is not just a bully coming in that I'm supposed to hate. This is a bully who is good at being a bully. This is a bully who has experience and tactics and strategies that have worked in the past, specifically with this person. This is a target. This is a hit piece. This is an example of predating. This is Okay. So when I see this, I don't actually see a bully. I see a predator. Yep. I don't act, because one of the things I see with bullies is that they're territorial. They primarily have their own area,
and they don't want people to infringe on their turf. Whereas
predators,
it's the same thing, but with people.
Well, no, with predators, they actively seek out things in their own environment, meaning that they leave their environment.
Right.
There is no establishing of turf. It's
targets.
It's targets.
Yeah.
And that is something that not only will I actively hate, like actively dislike in the strongest sense, but it frustrates me because it's so realistic in how it's handled. That I can actually, in my own unfortunate way, I don't have experience being on either end of this situation directly here, but I've seen in other instances the effects of this. I haven't seen the act of this before. Right. You know, like first person perspective, I'm looking and I see this happen.
But we have seen the consequences.
But I've seen the consequences of this.
Yeah.
And it's insidious. It's evil. I will not sugarcoat it and or even expect any kind of multidimensionality to Kyouko, because here's the thing. I am, unfortunately, I would say, compromised in this situation because Kyouko has a lot of complexity to her character.
Yeah.
She does. The problem is, in this moment,
you don't care.
I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. I don't care at all. I just, if I could talk about anything this episode, it's that people like this are real, and they do way worse things than what is being shown here.
Yeah, this is
child's play.
Right. This is not a rare occurrence.
And this is not a rare occurrence either. There's something about power dynamics that is interesting. You have people that are blissfully unaware of power dynamics.
Sure.
And they just their lives are probably pretty happy because they don't really care about those.
Yeah.
Or one, because they don't actually have too many in their lives that have any real weight or meaning.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You could be in a job, specifically, where you're one of 1,000, essentially, and the only power dynamic is that, at once every, quarter, you have to return, you have to say your report or whatever to your manager.
Something like that, yeah.
But there are other instances where there's a constant power dynamic, and unfortunately, when someone has that kind of power dynamic over you, it is very rare that it is not abused.
Oh, yeah.
It is very rare that it is not abused.
Yeah, and oftentimes that power dynamic is specifically set up for abuse.
I mean, for you. Let's extrapolate. Set up for.
So
it's set up so that it's easy to abuse.
Sure, but because in this situation, one of the things that absolutely drives me up a wall about all this is not just when I see Kyouko and everything that she does this episode, and this really I feel like is her introduction in a lot of ways. Like she had the introduction beforehand, which was her backstory. But that was her backstory, right? Yeah. This is her introduction, right? She makes a dramatic entrance, right? And all I'm thinking of is Monty Python. A witch, we found a witch, burn her, burn her. But the thing is that they also showed the backstory, and this is what makes it so. This is what makes it so twisted to me. Is it's not just that they have a character that's like this, because that's evil and that's twisted and that's sick.
And we've seen other characters.
And we've seen characters in other stories or whatever
similar.
that do this or are similar, and we can hate them just fine.
Yeah.
Right. But
there's a couple vulnerabilities that are being exposed or being taken advantage of here that generally these types of characters don't have to they don't even have those to begin with. They just kind of bludgeon their way through and make a huge kind of obscene mess with themselves to where we can't take them seriously because in some ways they're unrealistic.
Yeah. But the fact that they made Kyouko so realistic, especially with the backstory, where I know exactly, I feel, who she is and why she started doing this in the first place, right?
Yep.
Because she felt the power was taken away because of this, stranger that, invaded her territory, right? The cuckoo bird that was, forcing the eggs out of the nest, right?
Yep.
And then she strikes back. She strikes back hard, and she realizes she's good at it, and that he can't really defend himself if she attacks him in a certain way. Now, Shogi, right? Which is where the attack started to come, the interactions with the father and everything.
No, she's
so then she
dirty.
goes after something else. She's playing dirty, right? And now she's going and she's attacking the thing that he always could beat her at, the Shogi, right? She's sabotaging him and undermining him and doing everything she can to get in his head, right? So that even when he's having this positive, and of course this is just, she doesn't know that he's having this positive realization of this is what Dad always wanted, But she comes in nonetheless at perfect timing to just
take a
work her black magic, right?
All over.
Yeah, and it's just like what I want to see. What I want to see is I want to see her basically be doing her magic, and then suddenly Akari and Hinata, and Momo come along, and Hinata and Momo maybe are completely clueless. Hinata might be a little bit uneasy.
Yes.
But Akari's just like, oh, you. I've seen you before. Like, not you specifically, but I know you.
I know your type.
I know your type, And that, because the thing is, Ray has been in this situation for so long.
Yeah.
He needs someone to help him out here, right?
Yep.
And I would love nothing more than to see Kyouko basically just slither and crawl away. But yeah. So
here's a thing that I want to kind of tag along to the whole predator bully thing there.
Yeah.
Is I've had encounters with bullies like a lot.
Sure.
I know how they tend to operate, and there's a certain type of inadequacy that they feel that is in some ways I would say this is something I'm not really proud of, but I think about twice, I'd say specifically 2 different times, I've noticed that, and I kind of like had it with the bully.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up kind of drilling into that. And in more or less a public instance of where they would utilize their bullying stuff. And it wasn't something I should have done. And I think that's because they're being bullies. There's a very real difference, in my opinion, than a bully and a predator. I hate bullies. I absolutely hate bullies.
Yeah.
The thing is about bullies, though, is that generally in what I would consider a bully, it's a social bully. It's someone that would essentially utilize some advantage they have to trot upon those that are weaker than them.
Right. It's vindictive, but rarely is it sinister.
Yes. It's not. Yeah. It's not looking at making them low. It's looking at making them feel better about themselves.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, the predating is still that, but it takes it to a.
I mean, I'm with you, but no, I think predating is way worse than that. Here's where predating, I think, comes into a whole nother level. It's that predating is where they've acknowledged in some ways the low road that they're in.
Okay.
And instead, they drag someone down with them into that low.
Yes.
And then
they control them.
And then when they're in that low with them, then they just just have their way with the person. It's at that point that I say DEFCON 1, all holds barred, go full,
Oh, hello and goodbye.
Yes, exactly. Omae wa mu shinderu. And I have had opportunities to talk with people who have been in the situation post predating, and when they've been predated upon, And the level of damage that can be done to the point where the people believe that either they deserved it or they actually like there's so much psychological just messed up stuff that gets slimed on
claws
them
run deep
that like what I see Kyouko as here is essentially like that oozing slime monster from Spirited Away, just taking like a acid goo dump over everything she touches. And like I understand in a lot of ways how low she's feeling, just probably constantly on a daily basis. I have no compassion, unfortunately, though, once you decide to basically go and specifically target someone who you can drag down into that with you, and not even for the purpose of bringing them down to your level, but of like trying to push them down even lower than that. It's something that I really wonder why it is that it's not that we systemically tolerate this kind of thing. It's that I think we systemically tolerate the symptoms that lead towards this type of behavior. And this is something that I think is me trying to not really go into social commentary here, but I feel like there are specific things that we as a species, as a people, and I know this is me from my limited, perspective here, I feel like we tolerate behavior that when left unchecked, when left undealt with, leads a percentage of those people into this area of becoming predators. And this series, if it's going to go more in depth into, and Kyoko's like a pretty important side character, like I'm probably not going to shut up about that. I'm just letting you all know this is something that I'm very sensitive about, and it very much pisses me off in a way that I want to have our discussions and stuff be entertaining and have it be something that you guys would love to engage and listen to us to.
But it's going to get heated.
But it's going to get heated, and there's some very real vulnerable places that I would take this to that would never be in a way that compromises anyone else or even really myself, but something that's going to be talking about, I would say, issues that are pretty intense.
Well, and again, that was the thing that sidelined me so much when we watched the first episode, because it was like, okay, this show, I know it's it's a mellow pace, deals with some heavy stuff,
and the first scene is her talking to him, and the black and white underneath the bridge.
Everything just hit me, and it was like, that's right, because hindsight 2020, that's right. This is what this show's about. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. And
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. On the positive side, we found out that Harunobu is the author, illustrator, and everything of a sweet Nyanya shogi teaching book for kids, and
he probably paid for the sponsorship in this episode of that little trailer for it.
Shogi. Shogi. It's so cute. It was something that felt a little bit weird to have in the middle of the episode.
And the main thing for me is not necessarily that it was there, but that it went on so long.
Like if they just done the shogi twice.
It's like a commercial break,
thing.
Yes. One of the things that I remember when I first watched it, I was like, wait a minute. Is this like the ending, and then they're just going to have like a super extended end credit sequence, and this is just the ending from here on out? But that would have been weird. But
okay, so Harunobu also ended up getting interior decorators to ship a whole bunch of stuff into Rei's apartment, which is a form of walking on Rei. Let's acknowledge it for what it is. This is an example of a way, in a positive way. For the most part, he is essentially, without the consent of Rei, invading his personal space and doing this thing there for the benefit of Rei. But there is a very real acknowledgement that needs to be made for whenever someone does something that's for your own good,
that can go to very...
There are some weird places it can go
yeah.
to. And I would say that Rei is one that needs people like Akari, needs people in some ways even like Harunobu. And they're calling him more Nikkaido this episode.
Yeah.
Is that his last name?
I'm not entirely sure.
I would say it would be his last name because that was how all the shogi players were also referring to him. So that would be the more formal
gotcha.
way. So
yeah,
Harunobu
probably.
is probably his first name.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do like about how they deal with Harunobu or Nikkaido, because that was one of the main reasons why I didn't like him when I first was watching this. And granted, I wasn't paying as close attention as it could have been, so sure. I wasn't picking up on like a lot of the little details.
He might be dying.
The fact that he might be dying, which throws a whole different angle into the whole fact that he made this book.
He's wanting to make his impact while he can.
Exactly right. So it is very like the whole idea of basically not walking over Rei is kind of something that he doesn't have time for, and he almost might not be aware that he's doing that.
I think it's both.
You know, like
I think it's totally both. He has a sense of urgency with everything that he's doing. He has a desire to make friends, and in this way, this is a combination of him urgently trying to make a friend with Rei and leave a positive impact on him. So it's all three of the above. The rough, in-your-face aspect of it is definitely there, but how many times, though, Jacob, have you been in a low place that you wish someone would aggressively seek after you as a friend?
That, I mean, come on, like who wouldn't want that?
Like I could count like on both hands 50 times probably how many times I wish that would have happened. If
you're in a situation where you have someone who is aggressively trying to be your friend and absolutely sincerely, I'm talking no ulterior motives or anything like that. And it's so much that it's annoying you and bugging you. What a good problem to have.
That's a great problem to have.
That is a fantastic problem to have.
You know how I would almost love to shout out in the comments how many times in your life you wish that would have happened. If you're here in the discussion right now. I can't count. If it's a number that you can guesstimate, though, and you think it's 100 times, let us know, because I think a lot more people have been through really low places in life than we'd like to admit. And I'm not talking just teens or kids. I'm talking adults, fully grown, matured grandparents. I'm talking all kinds of people. And I think that the idea of having someone that aggressively tries to enter into your life with a sincere desire to be friends like this is something that most of us would love to have as a problem. It does maybe become a thing if, say, you have 100 people doing this all at once. But if you had one person doing that on a consistent basis, oh my gosh, I think that's something we can even see that we know it has to be the case, because in almost every self-insert story, there's that one person that is constantly trying to shove their way into that, perfect protagonist self-insert's life, and they're ignoring them.
Basically, I feel like Nikkaido is the equivalent of Mako or Speedwagon, but put into a slightly more realistic fashion.
Yes.
Now, it's still unrealistic because that doesn't happen often, but if it were to happen in real life, it would probably be kind of something like that.
Yes.
And then Akari is maybe like the Iroh,
Akari is she is the flawed angel. Right. And the flaws are very much there, kept under wraps, though.
And to contrast the demon.
Yes, that is true. Do you feel like also one of the things that allows for some really cool archetypal analysis of this story is that while the characters' situations and motivations are very realistic, their actual extreme presentations and dramatizations of them are very extreme.
The presentation is very extreme, which is something that's very important. The fact that in the first episode, the very first line we got from Ray after seeing him for so long was "liar," or something, or "that's a lie," And that was basically the entire thing he said during the entire first episode, and then we just see him sleeping, crying. And that's basically it. That fantastic introduction.
Yeah.
The fact that they do such a almost literally black and white comparison between his apartment and the wholesome house, right? Where it's bubbles and warm colors and everything.
Flowers literally floating.
Exactly, right. As opposed to dark blues and blacks and bleak and everything, but then the window where he can see that stuff from the outside, because it's the idea that he's still drawn to it. He knows he needs it, even if he can't actually bring himself to go there, right? It's Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good show. It is something, though, that I can tell, unlike something like Your Lie in April, they're not actually trying to emotionally manipulate you into a specific emotion.
Right.
They're trying to emotionally manipulate you into just emotion. They're trying to get you to respond. And
if anything, there's a lot of emotional manipulation of the characters.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I would say what. Yes. And that response necessary is because we as human beings are used to getting bombarded by input, like just constantly.
Right.
But one of the things that we have, I would say that to our benefit, is a filter of, I would say just a filter of sorts. And the presentation method in this story is to get at it in such extremes that it overwhelms our filters, and we can't actually...
Yeah.
We can't actually allow it to come in a steady dose. It just all of a sudden just overwhelms you, and that's probably something that explains why watching this is so tiring and draining, but also why I think the most analysis can be done with this.
Sure.
Because you actually have to shut down your emotions in some way. Now, this is maybe me coming from a very weird kind of perspective of someone that's very good at compartmentalizing emotion and, segmenting things when I'm going into analysis mode. But this show makes it very difficult to stay there forever. I could not do it at the end of this episode.
Yeah, marathoning this show would just be...
Oh my God.
It would be a huge disservice to the show, for one.
But also that would be how to, instantly take a nap.
Yep. Well, that was what would usually happen. I would be lying down while I was watching this show.
That's
and
right.
It would just I would get so tired. I would get so exhausted. I would end up falling, I would be watching multiple episodes at a time, but I would end up falling asleep.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said that it was it was something where you forgot a lot about what happened in the first, 13 episodes, Cour or something?
Yeah.
Because you would just end up asleep at some of it. And I'm thinking, is that a thing that means the show is bad?
Right, it feels weird to say, because it's normally that's what happens when a show's not good, but it was really good, That's why I stopped watching, right? But,
Yeah. I kind of want to make sure that there is some good interaction between commenters and us, so I'm going to make sure that the mods pass along some of the comments to us, because I have some really big questions for you guys here. And this is mainly for those of you that have lasted this long into the discussion and stuff, because next time this kind of thing gets brought up, I'm going to wait a little bit longer to bring it up in the discussion, so that people who are really serious about the discussion side of things can
get to it, whereas
where the people that might be more
not want to get into the
stuff,
heavier stuff don't have to. Yeah.
If we get into more of the heavier stuff, with going into the whole abuse side of things, the whole predator side of things, the whole the whole injustice side of it, where people that have essentially been on the sideline of things like this, and having to figure out not how to deal with the people that were either being the predator or predated upon, but just dealing with that kind of stuff happening. That's the kind of stuff existing and happening in a relatively close proximity. What do you guys think about that? I'd love to know your feedback. Let us know in the comments. I'll make sure to have a bunch of the mods giving us the feedback of maybe some of the bigger comments. Not necessarily. They'll probably give us the general whether or not there was some consent of the audience, saying oh yes, we'd like that, or no, maybe not, and then some specific comments on thoughts in that specific area. But I am really exhausted after this episode.
Doesn't it?
I am looking forward to how we can bridge the gap between Ray and the family some more with the whole shogi environment. And I like that actually the teaching of shogi should bring up the conversations as to where his headspace is in when he goes to play shogi and stuff.
Getting him to open up a little bit more. And because the thing is,
It's all a means to do that. Like,
right.
That's basically what the whole story is about.
This wholesome house is where the healing is going to happen, and there's a lot of healing that needs to happen. And I really want to see it because every time they do something like this, it's just like it hits too close to.
It hits too hard.
Well, that too. Yeah.
And yes, I know what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little sick to my stomach right now. I'm going to call the discussion here for now because this is really heavy, guys. So, y'all, we love you.
Yeah.
We you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching our reaction discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access where you can chat with us about stories or just whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.